Right now, in 2026, there is a list of things you are entitled to stop paying for the moment you become a senior in this country. And most US have never once seen the whole list in one place. Some of these are official government benefits hiding in plain sight. Some are tax credits that quietly come off what you owe, whether you ask for them or not. Some you have to apply for on a specific form, or you simply never get them. And the people who never apply spend years paying full price for things their neighbor 2 doors down stopped paying for the day they turned 65. And there is one change landing this July on the 3rd of July that is putting more money into seniors' pockets automatically. And another item right at the end of this list that is worth more over time than almost anything else on it. So stay with me to the end, because the last one is the one people leave on the table the most. Here's my promise to you for the next few minutes. I am going to go through the complete list, the credits, the rebates, the free services, and the exemptions. And for each one, I will tell you exactly who qualifies and exactly how to claim it in plain English. None of this is a scheme, none of it is a scam, and I am not selling you anything. This is your own government's money and your own province's programs. Rules that already exist, that you have already paid for your whole working life. My only job is to make sure you are actually getting them. I'm Jake Morrison. I spent 15 years working inside Canada's retirement, tax and benefit system. And the thing that still bothers me most is how much of this is left unclaimed simply because nobody ever laid it out plainly. So before we start, do me one favor. 1. The July GST Arrow Groceries and Essentials benefit, plus 25%, subscribe to this channel and tap the bell. This kind of practical money information gets buried, and most people only find out about each item years after they could have been using it. Subscribe now and let's go through the list. Let's start with the one that is changing this very month, because the timing matters. The GST and HST credit. That quarterly tax-free payment the government sends to lower and modest income Canadians to offset the sales tax you pay has always been one of the most overlooked supports for seniors. It is tax-free, it never counts as income, and it never shows up on your return. And here is what is new. Starting this July, the 3rd of July 2026, that credit is being rolled into a new, larger payment, the Canada Groceries and Essentials benefit. And for the people who qualify, it comes with a 25% increase over the old amount. Same idea, bigger check, still completely tax-free. In fact, on top of the regular credit, the government also pushed out a one-time top-up payment back in June. Extra money, again, completely tax-free. Again, only reaching the people who had filed. You do not apply for any of this separately. The single thing you have to do to get it is file your tax return, even if you had almost no income, because every dollar of it is calculated from that return. Every year, seniors who didn't think it was worth filing because they didn't owe anything miss this payment entirely. If that has ever been you, that stops now. File and the July payment finds you. The second place a senior stops paying full price is the pharmacy. Across this country, the day you turn 65, you become eligible for your province's seniors drug plan. And most people have no idea how much it do. 2. Your province's seniors drug plan covers. In Ontario, for example, the Ontario drug benefit kicks in automatically on the first day of the month after your 65th birthday. You don't apply, you're simply in. From that point, instead of paying the full price of a prescription, you pay a small annual deductible, $100 across the whole year, and then a co-payment of just a few dollars per prescription after that. And if you are a lower income senior, you can apply for the Seniors Co-Payment Program, which wipes out that deductible completely and drops your cost per prescription to just $2. Every province has its own version of this. British Columbia, Alberta, the others all have seniors pharmacare programs. But here is the catch that costs people the most. The low-income top-up is almost never automatic. You have to apply for it. If you are paying more than a couple of dollars a prescription right now, that is your sign to check. The third one is for everyone who owns their home, and it is close to my heart because it is where I see seniors quietly bleed money. Your property tax. If you are a senior homeowner, you may not have to pay it the way you've been paying it. In Ontario, there is the Senior Homeowners Property Tax Grant, up to $500 back. 3. Property tax relief for senior homeowners every single year for homeowners 64 and older with modest incomes. And you claim it right on your tax return. In British Columbia, there is the Property Tax Deferment Program. If you are 55 or older, you can defer your property tax, legally postpone paying it through a low-interest government program, so that money stays in your bank account now instead of going to the city. Now, BC did change that program for 2026, so the interest works a little differently than it used to, and you'll want to read the current terms. But the core option, paying it later instead of now, is still there for cash-strapped senior homeowners. The point is this: in most provinces, there is some form of property tax grant, deferral, or rebate aimed squarely at seniors, and it is one of the biggest and most ignored lines on this entire list. Do not assume you have to pay that bill in full, on time, the way you always have. And while we are talking about your home, here is one that pays you back for staying in it. If you are 65 or older, the Federal Home Accessibility Tax Credit lets you claim 4. The Home Accessibility Tax Credit, the cost of renovations that make your home safer and easier to live in. Grab bars in the bathroom, a walk-in tub, a wheelchair ramp, non-slip flooring, a stair lift, widening a doorway. You can claim up to $20,000 of those expenses and get 15% of it back on your taxes. That is up to roughly $3,000 returned to you for work you may have been about to pay for in full anyway. Most people do these renovations and never realize the government will quietly cover a chunk of the bill. So, if you are planning to grow old in your own home, and most of us want to, understand that you do not pay the full price of making it safe. You keep the receipts and you claim it at tax time. Now, let me give you 3 that live inside your tax return, because the tax system itself stops charging you full freight once you turn 65, and almost nobody claims all 3. The first is the age amount. The moment you are 65 by the end of the year, the government shields several $1,000s of your income from federal tax. Money you simply do not pay tax on anymore as long as 5, 7. Age amount, pension income amount, pension splitting as your income is modest. And it only fully disappears once your income climbs quite high. For a lot of seniors, that is well over $1,000 a year that they should not be handing over. And most tax software claims it automatically, but if someone is doing your taxes by hand or you've never checked, you make sure it's there. The second is the pension income amount. If you receive eligible pension income, you get to claim up to $2,000 of it tax-free every year. And the third, and this is the one couples leave on the table constantly, is pension income splitting. If you and your spouse are retired and one of you has a larger pension than the other, you are allowed to move up to half of that eligible pension income onto your spouse's return, dropping you both into lower tax and cutting the total tax your household pays, sometimes by thousands. It is completely legal. The government built it on purpose, and you do it with a single form at tax time. If you are a retired couple and you have never split your pension income, that is potentially the most expensive thing you are not doing. I want to pause here for a second because I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, Jake, this sounds too good. If all this were real, why is no one telling me? And that is exactly the problem. No one is telling you because none of it is automatic, and there is no single office whose job it is to make sure you're getting everything. The bus company isn't going to phone you. The bank isn't going to volunteer it. The CRA processes what you claim. It doesn't chase you down to give you more. The entire system runs on the assumption that you already know. That's why a list like this matters. And it's why I want you to keep a pen handy. And why no one tells you, and it's all legal, write down the ones that apply to you, because we're only halfway. The next one is dental, and this is a brand new lifeline that did not exist for most seniors a couple of years ago. The Canadian Dental Care Plan now covers seniors 65 and over. As long as you're a resident, you've filed your taxes, you don't have private dental insurance, and your adjusted family net income is under $90,000. And if your family income is under $70,000, the plan covers your eligible dental work with nothing for you to pay at the chair. No co-payment at all. Cleanings, exams, fillings, dentures, the things seniors put off for years because the bill was frightening. If you've been avoiding the dentist because of cost and you don't have private coverage, you need to check whether you qualify, because this one is worth hundreds, sometimes thousands a year. And dental isn't the only kind of aid. The Canadian Dental Care Plan care that gets cheaper or free once you're a senior. Your own provincial health plan starts covering things it makes everyone else pay for. Take your eyes. In Ontario, the moment you turn 65, OHIP covers a major eye exam roughly every 18 months, and every 12 months if you have a condition like diabetes, glaucoma, or cataracts with no referral and no bill. You simply walk in with your health card. Many provinces restore optometry coverage for seniors exactly like that. And it doesn't stop at your eyes. Most provinces fund vaccines for seniors that younger adults pay out of pocket for. The high-dose senior flu shot, the shingles vaccine, and many run free or subsidized foot care and podiatry clinics for older adults. Because keeping seniors healthy and on their feet is cheaper for the system than the alternative. None of it is announced. So when you reach 65, ask your pharmacist and your doctor one simple question. What does my province cover for me now that it didn't last year? You'll be surprised how often the answer is something you've been paying for. Then there's getting around town. 9. Provincial health extras. Eye exam, vaccines, foot care, public transit. Nearly every city in this country gives seniors a break the rest of the public doesn't get, and in some places it is completely free. Many transit systems offer free or deeply discounted fares once you reach 60 or 65. Some offer free travel on certain days of the week. Some give you a flat seniors pass for a fraction of the regular cost. But just like everything else on this list, it is not handed to you. You apply through your local transit authority with proof of age, and you get a seniors card. If you are still tapping a full fare card every time you ride, you may be paying for trips you are entitled to take for free. And the same habit applies far beyond the bus. Your library, your local pool and recreation center, many museums and galleries, provincial parks and campgrounds, even movie theaters. A huge number of them have a seniors rate that is never advertised at the till. It will not appear on its own, and the cashier will rarely offer it. The two most profitable words you can say once you turn 65 are simply, "Is there a seniors discount?" Get in the habit of asking it everywhere, every time. Because over a year, the small ones quietly add up to 10. Senior transit plus ask for the discount everywhere, real money. Here's one almost no working senior knows about. If you are 65 or older, you are still working, and you have already started collecting your CPP retirement pension, you can stop paying into CPP. There is a form, the CPT 30, that you give to your employer. And from that point, your CPP contributions simply stop coming off your paycheck, which puts that money straight back in your pocket on every single check. You are still allowed to keep working as much as you like. You just stop being charged for a pension you're already collecting. Most people have no idea this exists, and they keep paying in for years because nobody handed them the form. And here is a small one that adds up quietly every month. Your bank. Most of Canada's major banks will rebate or completely waive the monthly fee on your account once you reach senior age, usually 60 or 65 depending on the bank. It might only be a handful of dollars a month, but that is money leaving your account every single month for a service your bank is willing to give you for free. They will almost never apply it on their own. You have to walk in or call and ask the question, "Do you waive the monthly fee for seniors?" and "Am I getting it?" 5 minutes and it's done. 11. Stop paying into CPP, Form CPT 30. Now, everything I'm walking you through today, every credit, every benefit, the exact income limits, and the precise steps to claim each one without making a mistake, I've put it all into one plain English guide. I call it the playbook. It's the same thing I'd sit down and walk a family member through at my own kitchen table, organized so you can go down it line by line and tick off what you're owed instead of trying to remember a video. I'm not going to read you a sales pitch if these few minutes have already shown you money you were missing. The link is in the description, and it's there whenever you want the whole thing in one place. Now, let's finish the list because I saved a big one for the end. Because the single most valuable thing a lower income senior can be receiving in this country is the Guaranteed Income Supplement, the GIS. It is a monthly payment that sits on top of your old age security. It is 12. GIS plus provincial top-ups, GAINS, completely tax-free, and it is meant for seniors with little or no income beyond their public pensions. And it is year after year one of the most underclaimed benefits in Canada. Tens of thousands of seniors who qualify for it are not getting it, often for the simplest reason imaginable. They stopped filing a tax return, so the government has no way to confirm they're eligible. Here's the rule that unlocks it. File your taxes every year, even with no income. And make sure you've applied for it, because for many, it doesn't just start on its own. If you are getting by on OAS and not much else, and you are not receiving GIS, that could be hundreds of tax-free dollars a month you are going without. And that is exactly the kind of thing this whole list is meant to catch. And it does not stop at the federal check. On top of GIS, several provinces add their own monthly top-up for low-income seniors. In Ontario, it is called GAINS, the Guaranteed Annual Income System, and it can add up to around $90 more a month for a single senior, paid automatically once you are on GIS. That is a second check stacked on the first that most people do not even know exists. So find out whether your province has its own senior income supplement sitting on top of the federal one, because when these chocks, the free key that unlocks half the list stack, they change a retirement. And here is the key that unlocks almost everything I have listed today, and it is itself free. If filing a tax return feels like a chore or it costs you money to have it done, you can have it done for nothing at a free community tax clinic. Volunteers working with the Canada Revenue Agency who file for seniors with modest incomes at no charge. Since filing is the single trigger that releases the GST and groceries benefit, the GIS, the provincial top-ups, and the grants, that free clinic may be the most valuable free thing on this entire list. You do not pay to claim what you are owed. So, let me bring it all together, because under all of it, the lesson is simple. The day you become a senior in this Your Checklist, Do This Week country, the rules change in your favor, but only for the people who go and claim it. So, here is your checklist, the one to write down and act on this week. File your tax return, no matter how small your income, because the GST credit, the new July benefit, the age amount, and the GIS all flow from it. Check your province's seniors drug plan and the low income top-up. Look up your property tax grant or deferral. Claim your age amount, your pension income amount, and if you're a couple, split your pension. If you're making your home safer, claim the home accessibility tax credit. Check the dental plan if you don't have private coverage, and book the eye exam your province now covers. Get your senior's transit card and ask, is there a senior's discount everywhere you go? If you're working and over 65 and collecting CPP, file the form to stop contributing. Ask your bank to waive your fee. And if filing is the hurdle, use a free community tax clinic. Because filing is the key to half this list. Not one of those is a favor, and not one of them is automatic. They are yours. You just have to reach out and take them. If even one item on this list put money back where it belongs, in your pocket, then do me a favor and send this video to one person you care about who's a senior. Because I promise you, they are paying full price for something on this list right now without knowing they don't have to. And subscribe, because this is all I do here. I take the money the system quietly owes you, and I make sure you actually get it. I'm Jake Morrison. Don't pay for what you're entitled to get for free, and I'll see you in the next.